What's going on, everybody? All right, so we're here again with another live stream. All right, so we're going to talk about a few things. Not that many, but just a few things. Hope everybody's having a good day, all that good stuff. All right, so like some of you have seen, we'll get right into it. Some of you have seen this update with Jay Oliva with that picture of Ben Affleck, the storyboard, and that's pretty awesome that we're actually looking at this now. It's interesting that at the same time we are starting to get these pictures that are slowly coming out. Are things shifting? Are things changing? I feel that they are. A lot of people want to say that it's not. They want to say that it's just nostalgia, if you want to say, and the usual that they tend to say to move on. But we, the fans, we're not moving on. We want more of the DCEU and what Zach was giving us, what David Ayer was giving us. And now, with the return of both of them back at WB, is something good and something is changing. A lot of people are starting to see that things are slowly starting to shift. I think that this backup plan is what the studio needed, and this is what they desperately need because the way that things have been going for over the year, from 2023 with those flops that they had, things need to change fast if the studio wants to survive and if they want to stay afloat. Like I've been calling it for a while. It's not going to happen overnight, but at the same time, things are kind of interesting right now where they're shifting for the good, And this whole rumor with Comcast coming on board saying that, hey, they want Zach and they want David Ayer for other alternative DC projects. This is a good thing for us, the fans. Hey, what's going on, Sean? Appreciate you watching. All right, we're seeing that more people are joining, so just decided to do this live stream so we can just chill for a bit and just talk about all this stuff with the DCEU because I, as a fan, will not move and I will not accept the new DCU with James Gunn. I refuse to, and you're not gonna change my mind. So everybody that's not with that, I don't know what to tell you, but like I was saying, it's interesting how now we have Zach that has announced, along with David Ayer, that they're back at WB. This right here is how I see things are shifting for the good and things are going to change because with Comcast, that rumor that came out recently that that I spoke about, we've been hearing and seeing that Comcast is interested in doing alternative DC projects besides of this whole reboot what James Gunn is doing and everything. Of course, you have to cater to a more, larger audience because of course we already know that things with James Gunn is not working. Let's just say how it is. It's not working. Fans are not interested and it's not enough support that they're getting. And it's interesting because now, they have to still sell merchandise from Zack Snyder and David Ayer because they want to cash in and they want to make money off of that. Funny, right? That's the beautiful part because it shows you that they need Zach and they need David Ayer to push their IPs and push whatever they're trying to put out because nobody's buying the new stuff. Now, another thing too, while we're on the subject, let's talk about the Penguin show. All right. I saw the first episode. I was not impressed. I watched it with an open mind. I went in with no expectations and I came out disappointed. You know why? I was falling asleep, just like I fell asleep with the Batman. I tried giving it a chance and I just couldn't. I really couldn't. It just feels like a generic, mobster type Sopranos type of movie. There was no action. It was extremely boring for what, like almost an hour long, and too much talk. There was so much talking in that show, and it's like get to the point. Okay, I get it, and I did like that it picks up from where the Batman movie ends, and we see Penguin. Like it's showing you how he's becoming the Penguin, even with the walk and the umbrella. Like that was kind of funny. But the actor, the what's his name, Colin, he plays a good role. he plays his character good. That I give it to him. He did good in the first one, in the movie, but just in this one, I was like, it's too much talking. I just it was just way too much. Hopefully the next one gets better, but I highly doubt it, honestly. And I might sound like if I'm like, oh, you're so negative. No, it's just you're not giving me quality. That's all. But yeah, let's see what happens on the next one. Have you seen Transformers One? Not yet. I'm gonna go see it tomorrow. But I did see a lot of clips from it, and honestly, it just first the character designs they didn't catch my attention when I saw that like a year ago when they announced it, and like it was just gonna be like a whole animated type of movie. I was like, this better be good because once it came out and we saw that images of how the characters and stuff like that, and when we got the trailer, as a Transformers fan, I wasn't happy about it. I don't like how Optimus' face looks, how all these characters, their faces and their helmets look. It looks too goofy, too childish, and I'm like, if this was just catering to kids, which clearly you can see it is, I keep hearing a lot of good things about it, but at the same time, I hear a lot of negative things. And the clips that I did see, I'm just not excited about it. I'm gonna go check it out just to go check it out, but it's not something that I'm like I have to go see. I prefer live action movies; they're more entertaining. This should have just been straight to stream. Like they should have just put it on Paramount Plus, and probably they would have avoided, all this backlash that they've been getting and it's just something about it that just doesn't catch my attention. But to the ones that enjoyed it, good for you. I just couldn't get into it. I'm gonna go check it out just because, but it's not something that I'm like I have to go see it ASAP. I would have just waited to stream, but it is what it is. But let's see what happens and stuff with that. What's going on, Pedro? Appreciate you watching. Yes, restore the Snyderverse now. All right, so yeah, it's kind of interesting at the same time how things are, like slowly coming afloat when it comes to all this with Zack Snyder and David Ayer. And it's interesting because you have a lot of trolls that are coming out, and the same way that they're bashing and they're trying, keyword trying, to do and try to discourage us with, oh, the Snyderverse isn't making a comeback, oh, it's done, it's over, blah blah blah. The same thing that they said about the Snyder Cut. Funny how history is repeating itself because those are the same people that are right now shivering, nervous, knowing that their reboot of this whole DCU is DOA. We already know that it's going to fail and flop. And when it arrives in 2025, well, once it starts, quote unquote, officially, because now James Gunn is saying that Creature Commandos is what's going to kick it off. Yeah, I'm not going to be watching that show, honestly. I'm not interested, never asked for that show and we know it's going to be a flop, honestly. And if you see WB is trying hard to promote it, they have it all over Facebook and like all these corny ads that they keep putting out for Creature Commandos, and it's like nobody cares about it. And you see a lot of people are starting to put on the post restore the Snyderverse. That is amazing to see fans still pushing for restore the Snyderverse. This is why we have to continue to do what we're doing. There's no stopping us. The studio knows it. James Gunn knows it. David Zaslav, he knows it, and also Peter Safran. All of them know that we, the fans, will stop at nothing, and that's what they're nervous about because they see that the fandom man is still there, and more people want the Snyderverse, and more people want Suicide Squad, David Ayer's cut, and we're going to get it. When people say no, it just proves to you that they are nervous, that they are worried because they know that it's coming. The same thing happened with the Snyder cut. When people said no, it wasn't going to happen, and now we have it officially. So the same way that that happened is the same thing that right now is happening behind closed doors, and we're seeing now with Zach returning to do that prequel TV show or TV series, whatever it is that they're doing with that for 300. That means that Zach is back already inside of WB. So from there is where things are going to happen. Of course, it's going to be focused on doing that, but don't be surprised that once probably that's done, because that's probably going to get wrapped up quick. Like, that's not a big project. You get what I'm saying? I think that's just the return of Zach to do what he has to do in order to finally be able to give us, and I think this is just me speculating, I think that the Snyderverse is going to get restored by Comcast with HBO Max. Even if we don't get a theatrical run or anything in theaters, that's fine. Because with the streaming service alone, it's going to be a huge win because we'll still be able to get content and we'll still be able to see things that we were once promised. And of course, things are going to get pumped up with steroids, and Zach is going to give us something even better than what he had originally planned. Because I'm sure that he's been having time, especially being done with Rebel Moon for the moment, because I know we're going to get Rebel Moon 3. It's just a matter of time and stuff like that. Zach has probably been, like back to the drawing board and saying, hey, look, this is what we can do. This is what we should do. And this is probably what we're going to get the fans if WB, well, not even WB, but if you want to say the studio allows him to do his thing and have full control. You imagine how amazing that would be if Comcast were to acquire, which I really think is going to happen, that they acquire the rights to WB or to a big percentage, where they could bring back Zach and do, whatever they want with Zach and David Ayer just to give content on HBO Max because they need that content. Since what it was 2020 that they launched I think it was 2020 or 2021 when they launched the streaming service of HBO Max to the day of today, it's been out for what, like 4 years. They really haven't really been doing anything, and all their content that they have is kind of meh. That's it. Now they're trying to push it with Penguin. They're trying to push it with Matt Reeves, and if he gets his uh, Arkham Asylum, whatever it is that he's trying to plan and do, which I highly doubt it's gonna get that far. I mean, it could still happen. Let them do their thing. That's fine. But if WB wants to continue and they need the money from the fans, then continue with the Snyderverse. All you have to do is do it separate. It doesn't have to connect into anything what James Gunn is doing. And then again, we have the Flash that can use the multiverse. You can reset things just how they did with Justice League, that they went back and they fixed it, the whole timeline with the Whedon, blah blah. We already know. So imagine what can come from Comcast restoring the Snyderverse on HBO Max. We could get Ben Affleck's Batman trilogy. Hopefully, we could get Man of Steel 2 and 3. We could get Black Adam. Yes, I know that was from what is it, Hamadaverse, but it was still with the tone and that setting and vibe of what Zach was giving us because it had that realistic, dark, more brute tone. If you compare Black Adam to Shazam, Shazam 2, you can see the difference. The first Shazam was goofy, but it wasn't like the second film. The second film was a complete mess. It was all straight up a Marvel type of production, if you want to say. The first movie, at least it was a little bit more fitting. It was a little bit still in tone with what could have been the remaining of, the Snyderverse. But of course, we already knew that by then the Hamadaverse had officially started with the first Shazam movie because remember we had just got off of Aquaman, and of course Aquaman was still connected because Zach was involved in consulting James Wan, and they were both working together on that stuff. So that's why that movie did good. But when it comes down to what we have right now, this just tells you and it shows you that WB is on the right path, and if they keep it up, they can do so many shows. We can get finally Ben Affleck's Batman versus Deathstroke. We can get so many shows from this. We can get, of course, the Air cut that you can watch it on streaming. That'll be amazing. It's just so much things that could come from it. It could just expand, their library, if you want to say, and just people are just gonna enjoy it, that love and want that universe to still continue because there's still a fan demand for that, and the studio knows it. And if you have Comcast with this rumor going around that they do want Zach and Dave Ayer, that just tells you, hey, there's money to be made right there. Apart from what they're doing with Matt Reeves and James Gunn and whatever it is, we already know that the studio is going to lose a lot of money with James Gunn. They've been losing money since the beginning of the Suicide Squad to this day, you know. And notice how they try to focus so hard on Peacemaker and they try to push him and promote him for people to accept him because they're so desperate that even in Mortal Kombat 1, that reboot, they put Peacemaker. When you get the ads for Injustice 2, if you play it, they're constantly trying to push Peacemaker on the mobile app. So it's like WB has forgotten about their main IPs, which is Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. And they just put that to the side. They're not doing really anything with it. And what they're trying to put out now, what with Matt Reeves, is it's just not a success like they're expecting. And a lot of fans are just not interested in that. So what do they need to do? They need to rebuild their if you want to say their fan base again. Like they need to connect with the fans and say, what does the consumer want? Okay, we see the statistics that a lot of them want the Snyderverse. So probably this is why Comcast is coming into play. And the beautiful part about Comcast is that it's privately owned. They're not owned by Disney. They're not owned by another corporation. It's just private investors and banks that put money to make money. And that's how a business should be running. They're smart about that. You don't hear Comcast in debt like WB and losing all this money. It's crazy because these people are about making money. That's what this business is about in the end. It's always about making money and giving the fans what they want because, of course, your fans are going to keep on buying your product and consuming it. So, why not give them what they want? So, we already know that with James Gunn, DC is to a bad start. I don't care what anybody says, it's to a bad start. And the more we get into it, the worse it's going to get. So WB is probably like, you know what? And especially David Zaslav, he must be like, you know what? If fans want that and somebody's willing to buy it, then why not? You know? And apparently there's a rumor also that's going around that David Zaslav wants to sell WB, but he's asking way too much. The number is double or triple on what he's trying to make from, WB. And of course, if you have people like Comcast and Sony and all these companies, they're not going to pay that price because of course the debt that they're in. Like who's going to buy that? Nobody. It's like you going out and buying a product that's like you're getting taxed on it. Why would you do that? You're going to wait for the number to drop and then you're going to make your move and you're going to buy from them. So in this situation, WB is just a little bit too high where it's like nobody's going to want to pay that price because the debt that you guys are carrying and the debt that you got yourself into, it's going to be very hard to try to get out and try to like make some profit. So what do? You wait for them. That's why their stocks keep on dropping. And this is what I've been saying for a while. It looks like Comcast is watching, and as it keeps on dropping in value, that's when they're going to make their move and they're going to be like, look, we're going to make a bid. This is how much we're going to offer you. And it's going to get to a point where David Zaslav is going to be like, you know what? It's either I jump ship and sell it now or keep on dealing with this headache and keep on getting more in debt because that's what WB has become. Nothing but debt. And they need to get out of this debt quick because, like I've been calling it for a while, two things are going to happen. And it looks like it's getting there. We're seeing it. You guys see me reporting about it and talking about it. And this is not a coincidence. And it looks like WB is going to be forced to sell their IPs to whoever's gonna have the money, or two, they're just gonna be forced to restore the Snyderverse. And it's no coincidence that you have David Ayer coming back and you have Zach coming back because they know whoever it is that's about to make an offer to WB, if it's Comcast, they know they're about to cash in with the investment that they're about to make. And that would be a huge win for everybody, the studio, for Comcast, for us, the fans, for Zach, for David Ayer. It's just going to be a win overall for everybody. Now, what's going to come from that? Imagine when they make the announcement that Zach is going to do something with WB or whatever you want to call it, back with the DC. You know, that alone is going to increase their profits in their stocks. It's going to increase even more attention because now you're going to have all the trolls and all these salty ones that were like, oh, it's not going to happen. And all of a sudden they're going to be quiet because they're going to be like, oh, wow, it really did happen. And it's happening. I see it. If you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you, honestly. The chips are all stacking right before us. David Ayer posted that picture. Let's just analyze that. David Ayer posted the picture of the WB logo. Why would you put that? For the hell of it? No. That means that he's probably working on something that he can't say now, but he's hinting. Yo, I'm back. The same thing with Zach. Okay, his foot is in. He's back. He's working on that prequel for 300. Fine. That's good. Because once that's done, I'm sure Netflix is gonna be like, hey, come back for Rebel Moon 3. And they're probably gonna hey, this is where the bidding is gonna come. And let's just speculate that Comcast is now interested, especially with Zach being back. Hey Zach, how much is Netflix giving you? Oh, okay. We're gonna give you this much if you want to do Justice League 2 and 3 and add on to whatever you want. And you imagine, hey David Ayer, we want to give you this much. And then boom, from there things start to pick up where they left off. Because let's not forget, and look, I want to point this out. I know the other day somebody posted on the comments and they were like, oh, there's no such thing as an Ayerverse. Yes, there is. Oh, there's none because he only did one movie. Okay, let me pause you. He did one movie, yes, but he was going to do more. He was going to do Gotham City Sirens. That's another project within the DCEU, connected to Suicide and connected to what Zach was already building with Justice League. So that therefore is all part of the Ayerverse. The same thing like the Snyderverse. Because if Zach didn't do Aquaman, the first one, that doesn't qualify that it's a Snyderverse movie. Get out of here with that. It is part of the Snyderverse, and that's okay. You can have another director. That's why you have to give credit where credit is due. I forgot the name of the director that did the first Shazam movie, but let's give him credit. He tried to connect that into what the Snyderverse was there. And I got to give them props for that. It was WB that didn't want nothing to do with it. And they were trying to get away because, of course, that was a product from Walter Hamada. So what they were doing, trying to get away. But what did the director do? He included the same batarang that Ben Affleck's Batman had. He had posters in the background, Easter eggs that were connected with the, I think it was the bullet from Superman or something like that he had in the little bag. So these are all things that had and were connected to the Snyderverse. Overall, everything was going to expand and it was going to create even more to it. This is why I'm starting to see even more every time that passes that James Gunn is scared of the success that the DCEU brought to WB, and James Gunn knows that he'll never be able to match with the quality that Zach and David Ayer did. And this is why James Gunn is all about himself, because he's trying to leave his quote unquote legacy. So when the day he's no longer at WB, he can look back and, of course, he's going to boost his ego and say, I did that. I made that possible, because his leadership is so bad. He's so focused on what he wants to do, his legacy, on his mark, not about what the fans want. He's only trying to cut shortcuts and trying to milk and use all the money from the studio, profit most of it, so he can give us low quality budget films. Look at it. Peacemaker, very low budget. They're not spending much on it. And not only that, look at how bad the Suicide Squad flopped. WB, I'm sure at the beginning were like, you know what, we're gonna give you what it was like 200-300 million. And how much did that movie make? It lost a lot of money. But then again, they give them 200 or 300 million for Superman. And look at how bad it is to the start right now. People are just making memes and it's nothing but a mockery. That's sad. It's telling you right before you, yo, stop while you can. WB, fix it. But they're not going to. Because if there's a signed contract, which I know there is, they can't do anything because they have to go by the contract. This is why I'm telling everybody the Snyderverse is very near. It's right around the corner. We know it because now Zach is saying it. Yo, I'm back at WB. David Ayer is hinting it. Like I said it before that announcement that he posted. Remember, I told you he posted. It was like on the 13th or something like that of this month. He was walking in or out. We don't know. We just know he was walking past on the lot of WB under that water tower. And I said it. I said it before anything was announced. I was like, yo, he's hinting at us and he's telling us that he's back at WB. And then, like 2 days later, he posted the picture about him with WB. Is it coincidence? No, it's not coincidence. It's things that are happening right before us. Is that there's NDA, non-disclosure agreements. You can't say nothing until things are official. That's how these things work. You have to understand, all right? We, the fans, are very passionate, okay? And on top of very passionate, we want things now. But we have to sit back and look at it from the business point of view. They can't do it yet. They're probably working on it. They've been negotiating. That's what I've been calling for a while. These people are negotiating. Think about it. You have to think about it like if you're on the board. Are you going to announce it? Hey, look, we did the deal. We're going to announce it tomorrow? Not yet. You have to wait for these things to slowly take place, and then you could go ahead and make your move. And that's what I think is happening right now. That's why, remember recently with the Russo brothers, they were trying to fish for information from Zach. Like, and they weren't even announced yet for Secret Wars. Does that click? Think about it. That's why I've been saying Marvel is using James Gunn to destroy fully WB from the inside out. Because of course Disney is scared, because if Justice League 2 or 3 get announced, it's over. It's over for Disney and Marvel. I'm telling y'all. The new phase that they're entering right now with Marvel is not getting the attention like they thought it was. They're so desperate. Marvel and Disney are so desperate that they need Robert Downey Jr. back. They can't bring him for Iron Man because they screwed themselves with that. What are they doing now? Oh, let's bring him as Doctor Doom. Okay, that's the best that you can do. So what are they going to try to do? Hey, let's have an interview with Zach. Let's try to get ideas of what he would do for Justice League 2, because we know it's not happening anytime soon, and we beat him again like they did with the first one, with the Avengers. Straight copy and paste. Oh, but there's no Zack Snyder now, so they can't copy and paste from him, right? Now, this would be a great opportunity and a great move for WB if they do the following: sell those IPs, everything that has to do with Zack Snyder, with the DCEU and what he already built and established, and continue it. And not only that, Comcast backs them up and they put it on HBO streaming. Look, just talking to you guys and telling you these ideas, I'm starting to get goosebumps because I see it. It's going to happen. I don't know about y'all, but I see the Snyderverse being announced very soon. It could be within the next 2 years, the next 3 years. Hell, it could be less than that, because we already know that with James Gunn and his DCU, nobody cares about it. It's not enough support. It's not enough for the studio to really say, hey, we're going to fully rely on this. They're not. So what are they doing? They're stacking their chips as a plan B. Like we heard recently with David Zaslav saying that he was going to be working on a plan B. That was the rumor. Remember that in case James Gunn's DCU doesn't work, then they have a backup with Zack Snyder. And if Comcast is coming into play and they're like, hey, we're going to invest with you guys, but we want David Ayer and we want Zack Snyder, that tells you that they know that there's money on the table and they're not going to let that slide away. AT&T let that slide away because they had and they released the Snyder Cut. Thanks to them. Let's be real. Thanks to Mike DeLuca and I forgot the lady's name, Abby, I think, or I can't remember right now. Anyway, thanks to them too, and along with AT&T, they were able to give us the Snyder Cut when everybody, including the head of WB at the time and Sarnoff, well, we're done with Zack Snyder. We want to thank him for his trilogy. What trilogy? We didn't get a trilogy. You went from Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman to Justice League. What trilogy? There's only one Man of Steel. Where's the other two movies? That makes that a trilogy. Where's Batman's standalone film? Where's his part 2 and part 3? That makes a trilogy. Justice League 1, where's 2 and 3 that we were promised and we were robbed? That's a trilogy. So you see what I'm saying? Comcast knows that there's money to be made and they are not going to let this opportunity slip. I'm telling you guys, Comcast is the one that's going to shock and flip the switch on all of us, and they're going to bring back the Snyderverse. Except the Snyderverse is going to come back on steroids. It's going to come back that none of us are ready. I'm telling y'all, I'm getting chills just talking to you and telling you this. This is just me speculating, all right? If anybody from Comcast is out there listening, or if they hear this, now is your time. Now is the opportunity to build the relationship and gain your customers again. If you guys notice how things are shifting in the industry. This whole woke SJW crap, it's ending. People are tired of it. This is why Disney is firing all of those writers, producers, directors, and everything that has to do with that. You know why? Because that's been toxic since the beginning. We are going to look back and we're going to see in history what the hell happened during that time. And it's because you tried catering to the wrong crowd. You can never please critics. James Gunn's DCU is DOA. That's done. It's a done certain thing. I guarantee it. Superman is going to flop hard at the box office. And all of these trolls and all these supporters from James Gunn know it. They're nervous, they're shaking, they're quaking. They know that it's done. They even say it. Oh, give James Gunn a chance. Give the DCU a chance. No. Why? Why should I settle for less? Zack Snyder told us in that interview with the Russo brothers, don't compromise. Period. Don't compromise. So I'm going to sit here and compromise and be like, yeah, you know what? You know what? You're right. We should go ahead and just allow an animated movie for Justice League 2 and 3. You know what? We should go ahead and just accept that as a comic book. Get out of here. It doesn't work like that. Go ahead and put James Gunn's Superman as a comic book. Hell, if you want, make that into a coloring book. Oh, that's a no-no, right? That's wrong. But it's okay for you to try to say and tell us, move, go ahead and, just accept it is over. No, it's not. You wish it was over. If it was over, none of the fans would be asking. We wouldn't be trending. And that's the beauty of it. Here we are still trending years later for Restore the Snyderverse and release the air cut. That tells you that there's a huge fan demand. And that fan demand is starting to light up again. And if you have Comcast with these private investors, you can't bribe them. Disney tried to bribe them and tell them, hey, we want to buy you. And you know what Comcast said? Because it's a group of investors and banks, they said no. They turned Disney down. You have to have big balls to turn them down. That means you have enough money to tell them, you know what? Go fly a kite. And I'm glad that they did that because it shows you that they're about money. And that's what this is all about in the end. It's about money. Because if you, as a fan, you, the one that's listening, want quality, you're going to pay for quality and you're not going to settle for less. You don't go out to a restaurant and they serve you what they feel is best for you. You don't go out and get what they feel is best for you. You don't go out and buy a car. You want this vehicle, but let me sell you the one that I feel is best for you. No, it doesn't work like that, right? You're going to get what you want. You want your money's worth. And I, as a fan, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to what I'm about to say, I, as a fan, will not accept and I will not settle for what they're trying to give us. It's not working. It's been over a year. What movie has made profit under James Gunn? Tell me. None. None of them. And it's not working. The Penguin's not working. The Batman is not working. Matt Reeves is not working. James Gunn is not working. And it'll never work. This is why Netflix continues to crush the competition. Look, today, as a matter of fact, as we're speaking, I got an ad, and it's funny. Maybe some of you are getting it. I'm getting ads from Disney trying to push for the next 3 months to sign up for $1.99 for 3 months. What does that tell you? That they're desperate. They're trying to push. They're trying to push and promote something that's not selling. Nobody cares about it. It's not interesting anymore. Things continue to shift and change. People want quality. The same thing is happening in the video game industry. Look at how bad things are under the leadership. Let's not forget, we're right now under the regime of James Gunn. All right. It's been over a year and a half. What has he done to save DC? Tell me, where's all the James Gunn supporters at right now? Crickets, right? Quiet. Because you have no words and you know that the reality is that James Gunn is not worthy of running DC Studios. He's just not. He was good over at Marvel. Leave him over there with Disney. But here at DC, he's not fitted to be here. This is not Guardians of the Galaxy. We're not down with that. It did not work with the Suicide Squad. He's always focused on these strange characters that nobody cares about. You're going to kick off your new reboot, DCU, with Creature Commandos, a cartoon show that's rated R? Pathetic, sad, embarrassing. That's all I can say about that. And then you have James Gunn, he's hiding his face at events, big events. The biggest one, San Diego Comic Con. You can't show your face in person? Oh, that's right, because you know you're going to get booed off stage. And now he's saying that he's going to show up next month at New York Comic Con. Yeah, right. Watch. He's going to bail out last minute. You know why? Because he knows the backlash. He knows the fans are going to be in his face asking him, why did you do what you did to Henry Cavill, the Snyderverse, in the flush, and what you did with Ben Affleck? What about Gal Gadot? You said that she was going to be in it, but now she's not. So what's going on? These are questions that this whole studio does not want to face. And we, the fans, we're not going to forget that. This is why when Superman comes out, we already know. And the studio is probably pacing. They're nervous every day, just there, like, this movie's going to tank. They know it, but they have to go by what the contract says. The contract says that James Gunn's there for a limited time. What, probably 4 or 5 years? This is why he's trying to cram everything into Superman. That's why he's cramming Supergirl. He's trying to greenlight Supergirl. He's trying to bring in all of these characters into one. Why? Why? That just shows that you're desperate. I thought this was a Superman movie, not everybody else but Superman. That's all we keep on seeing and hearing on these leaks. Oh, everybody else but Superman himself. And then the little bit of pictures that we're seeing here and there and the leaks from the story, it just doesn't sound good. And it's not going to be. And look, I'm not trying to be negative. I want to give it a shot, but it's not convincing. And that's the problem. Since the beginning, it hasn't been, and it's not, and it won't be convincing. You're going to bring in Crypto, a talking dog? I don't know about you, but that to me gives me vibes of Guardians of the Galaxy with Rocket Raccoon. We had a talking raccoon, we have a talking weasel, and now we're going to have a talking dog. What else is next? He likes these weird, odd characters. Nobody knows these characters. And what? Okay, you read a comic book? Good for you. I don't read comic books. I don't have time to sit there and read a comic book. And hell, I'm not gonna keep up with every book. You crazy? You know how time consuming that is? I'm only focused on what we're seeing in the cinematic universe. And then you have James Gunn saying, oh, but these are all gonna be connected with the video games. Okay, okay. It's gonna be connected to the video games. So can somebody please explain to me why Suicide Squad, K, the Justice League, flopped? Who's in charge? James Gunn. This is James Gunn's regime. Who's to be held accountable? He is. Who you gonna blame? Oh, you're gonna turn your back on the studio that made your game, and you're gonna blame what? Rocksteady? That's not their fault. You're the ones that hired them. How are you gonna blame the studio that made the game for you? You gave them what you wanted them to do, and they delivered. It's not their fault that you guys try to do a freaking one of these type of games that's like, what was that Marvel game with the Avengers? That it was like you need internet and it's all microtransactions. That's already a start bad. It's bad for business. And look at how bad it tanked. That's a video game. It's so bad that they're laying off people. You know why? Because they're piss poor leadership. And that's what you're getting, and we continue to get with James Gunn. I don't care about no excuses. I don't want to hear him. James Gunn has not been saving DC. All he's been doing is ruining this brand every time more and more. That's why I laugh and I do not respect the James Gunn fan base. You know why? Because it's all talk, 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 and no action. Instead of proving us and saying, look, we're going to make profit. We're going to make numbers. We're going to reach our goals. All you're doing is just missing the mark every time. It's worse and worse and worse. It keeps on sinking. When is the flop going to stop? And this is why their stocks continue to fail and keep on going down. That's why Comcast is smart and they're seeing. I'm telling you, Comcast is the one that's going to acquire WB in the end, or chances are they're going just to get and own the DC IP in general. And they know it. They know that there's money there. They know it. How come all of a sudden now, what it was, today's Monday, 2 days ago, on Batman Day, How come they're playing all the Batman movies? Hell, even WB on their YouTube channel were live streaming these movies. And when I looked at it, they were playing the Batman with Robert Pattinson. You know how many people were watching at the time? Probably under 500. That's bad on YouTube. And if you have it's live and you have as a studio under 500 people watching it, but how come they won't play Zack Snyder's Batman versus Superman? How come they're not playing Justice League? See what I'm saying? They ignore quality, but then they want to give you what they feel is best for business. It's not working, WB. You have to give the fans what they want. You have to give the audience what they want. And I'm telling y'all, mark my words, I've been calling it for a while, and a lot of people keep on ignoring me on this. I see a lot of YouTube channels also jumping ship, going and supporting James Gunn, and some of them are slowly starting to reveal their colors because they're supporting James Gunn, because all for a click. I'm not here for a click. I'm here to spit the facts. We've already seen how many people have turned their backs and have abandoned the Snyderverse, and I'm still here fighting for y'all. And you see it. Zach announcing that he's back at WB. That's enough. Bing, 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 bing. That's the green light to tell you Zack Snyder is letting you know I'm back home, baby. I'm back home. The same thing with David Ayer. That's another light should click in your hand, be like ding, 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 ding. Put them together. You have Zach and David Ayer. Let me put it for you in a picture. You have the Snyderverse, and now you have the Ayerverse back at WB. 1 plus 1 equals 2. This is what that means. The Snyderverse and the Ayerverse are letting us know that they're slowly rebuilding on steroids the return of overall the Snyder and the Ayerverse. We are going to get the Ayer cut released on HBO Max. I'm telling y'all, I'm calling it now. Once this all comes true, you're going to remember and be like, damn, CS was right. Damn, he called it from a while ago. And then you're gonna see all these YouTubers that turn their back all of a sudden. Oh, I've been supporting the Snyderverse since day one. We already know who you are, you chameleon. See what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling y'all. Don't give up. Stay positive. That's why I'm here every day motivating y'all. Because I know with all these views, because y'all can see all the views that are coming in, I know out of all those views, there has to be one person from WB listening, one person from Comcast, one person from Netflix. I'm sure David Ayer and Zack Snyder have heard me and they're like, yo, this dude's fighting for us. Yes, yes, and yes, it's going to happen. There's no stopping it. It's on the way. Comcast, I'm sure somebody's listening. All of these companies, this is not coincidence, people. This is not coincidence. This is not a drill. This is right before us happening. The Snyderverse is all getting fixed and repaired with a shot of steroids. So when it makes a return, it's going to be bigger than what we think. Think about it. Just think about this. Imagine the following. Zack Snyder gave us on Zack Snyder's Justice League the epilogue scene, right? Where does the epilogue timeline take place? The nightmare. The nightmare timeline. There's so much from it that you can build and you can continue and you can restore from. We have Superman that he's now bad in that timeline. Darkseid has won. Just telling you guys, this gives me the chills. Damn, if somebody from Comcast, from WB, or anything hit me up, let me come help you build and rebuild what you already have. You have all the pieces to the puzzle right before you. Everything is right in front of you. Like I said, you have the power of the Flash with the multiverse. And I get it. A lot of people are like, well, I'm not interested in the multiverse and this and that. I agree with you. I agree with you. Now, check this out. If you think about it, the same way that James Gunn used the flush to reset the timeline in that movie and erase everything from the Snyderverse is the same way Zack and David Ayer can use the flash and reset everything on James Gunn. Surprise! And guess what? That whole universe from James Gunn can get deleted. Just the same way that Joss Whedon's Justice League got deleted and it got restored. It's funny. It's funny how people try to deny it and say, oh, move on. It's not going to work. You're delusional. They always have the same pathetic excuses because they know that it eats them from the inside out that the Snyderverse is going to make a comeback. And they know that James Gunn's DCU is completely done before it even starts. That's the beauty about it. That's why it cracks me up when all these salty ones are like, "Oh, just move on. Oh, it's over. Oh, yeah." That's the same thing you said about the Snyder Cut. Remember that? Remember when you said that the Snyder Cut would never happen and we were delusional and to give up? And what do we have now when you walk into stores? Oh, that's right. The Snyder Cut. Oh, yeah. If I was you, I would be salty too. You see what I'm saying? They know it. That's why now you have all these outlets talking about that one picture that Jay Oliva posted with Deathstroke and Batman. That's a drawing from the storyboard that we were supposed to get with the real Batman. Because remember, before Robert Pattinson came on board, we were going to get Ben Affleck's The Batman, the true, real deal vision within the DCU, the real DCU. Because that's what Zack Snyder and David Ayer. This new one, it's not working. It's a copy and paste. I want to be a knockoff. It's not going to go anywhere. And that's where the quality lies. Comcast knows it. This is why these leaks coming out left and right, it's not coincidence. It's because somebody from the inside is like, yo, this is what's coming. Get ready for it. I already know that they're going to be expanding once they announce it. It's all gonna be on streaming. And I've been telling you guys for a while. We can see how bad the theaters are doing right now. All right? Let's face it. After 2020, things changed for the future. I've been calling it for a while and it's going and it's happening right before us. People would rather stay home and watch a movie. I get it. Some of you don't want to, but let's accept the fact the modern audience has gotten lazy. We want what's more convenient and comfortable for us. I don't want to drive in traffic, wait in line, pay this expensive ticket, expensive food, dirty theaters, floor all sticky, people in the back kicking my seat, babies crying. You got all this mess. The movie froze. You have people getting up. You see shadows. You can't go because you're going to miss a scene. Oh, what did I miss when I come back? The line's long for you to buy food. You get what I'm saying? Now look at it in the bigger picture. As we continue to go into the future, everything is going to be on stream. Video games are on it, movies are on it. That's why Netflix is winning. Netflix has all the product there. And not only that, they get to cut the middle person, which is the movie theater. They don't have to share their profits with the movie theater. They keep all the profits to themselves. You think Disney and HBO Max don't want the same? Of course they do. But they're not doing that. That's the problem. That's the problem with these streaming services. They are not catering to us and they're not giving us that quality that we've been asking for. Now, if Comcast acquires WB, or at least the branch, if you want to say, of DC and all their DC IPs, yo, that alone is a huge, massive win because there's so much you could do with it. Okay, you want to do James Gunn and his stuff? That's fine, do it. We're gonna make money on it. We're gonna lose some, but we're gonna make a little bit of money back. With Matt Reeves, the same thing. Oh, but we know where our main money is gonna come from with the fans of Zack Snyder, because Netflix is winning. They're doing with Zach so much, and the same thing now they're gonna do again with Zach at WB, because you better believe that Zach has even more plans to expand what he was setting up in the nightmare timeline of the epilogue. We still have, like I said, you have Superman that's bad. You have Darkseid that won. That whole armada has to be explained. The anti-life, we need to know what happens. How does it take place? Does Superman come back? Does he? What happens in that whole timeline? What happens with Joker and Batman? Does Joker, do they really work, or does Batman finally take him out? How did Harley Quinn go out when Batman told Joker, when Harley was dying in his arms in that whole timeline? And then you have, of course, Aquaman is done. So you have Mara, like straight up, she took his position, you have the Flash of the future with all that armor, and then you have Cyborg, and on top of that, you have Deathstroke. Yo, the possibilities are endless. There's so much to build off of this, and Comcast knows it, and WB knows it. So you better sell it while you still can, and you better jump ship, David Zaslav, because you're not doing a good job. You've been here for a few years and nothing has changed. It's gotten worse. So when you have all these coming together, that's all the hints letting us know as fans, yo, keep holding on. Because not once has Zack Snyder said, hey, fans, give up. We're done. We're done. No. On the contrary, he likes, he reshares, and he posts things that have to do when people are talking about the Snyderverse. And the same thing with David Ayer. David Ayer, he kind of fell off for a moment, but then he got it together and he's like, "Yo, I'm back." And you all saw when we did the trend recently from last month for release the Ayer cut that he came out and was supporting it. And then you had Jared Leto also posting. So that tells you that these actors and actresses are still down to come out. And I don't want to hear this excuse anymore of people saying, well, these actors and actresses are getting old and they're moving on. Wrong, wrong. Because if you have Michael Keaton at age 72 coming back to put the cape and cowl and reprise his role as Batman, then you better believe that this cast is thankful and grateful to Zack Snyder and David Ayer for being and playing the character that they got selected in these universes. This is why I'm telling y'all, do not give up. Continue to fight. The Snyderverse will get restored and we will get the Ayer cut released soon. I don't know how soon, but we're going to get it soon. And we know that everything that James Gunn is trying to build is not going to work. WB knows it. If you have rumors of people on his team doubting him and saying, hey, I don't believe what he's going to do with this studio, that tells you that they don't believe in him. So go ahead, drop your comments. I'm going to take a few minutes so I can read some of these comments and stuff. So I appreciate everybody that's watching. All right, so let's check this out. Leave your thoughts and all that good stuff. But I'm telling y'all, things are changing. They're changing for the good. They're really, really good. I'm glad to see Transformers 1 flopping. Making excuses why it's flopping. Yeah, it's true. It's sad, but honestly, as a Transformers fan, I wasn't interested in it. We need Bay back at Transformers and make the sixth film after the last night. You know what? Now that you're saying that, there's a rumor going around that apparently the next crossover that we're getting with Transformers and G.I. Joe, of course, Michael Bay's going to be directing it, but it looks like because apparently they're going to do a sequel to Bumblebee. And then after that, there's a big rumor, that Michael Bay might be coming back to continue and finish The Last Night with his sixth installment for, and to continue the whole, what is it, to end the Bayverse, if you want to say, with what we got with The Last Night. Hopefully, let's see what happens. All right, Snyderverse until we die. Yes, sir. Jose, restore the Snyderverse. Yes, you already know it. Oriana, hi. Restore the Snyderverse. You already know. That's what we're here for. David Ayer, always and forever. True. Yeah, Pam Abdi. That's the other person that was Mike DeLuca. That's exactly right. I be forgetting. We will stop at nothing. True. We will stop at nothing. Make the Batflick movie. Yes, indeed. I'm sure we're going to get it. I'm sure we are going to get it. Rebel Moon 2, 3 is a masterpiece and a global phenomenon. Yes, it is. Whether people say it's not, it was, and it still is a success. We have two versions of it. We have the regular cut and we have the uncut, the R rated, which is amazing to see. Wow, these gun bros on that toxic positivity, fake praising. Yep, that's what it is. They're just bitter and they know that we, the fans, are coming together and it's going to happen. If it's not real action with live action, it's a bust. Yep, we're gonna get it live action. That's the only way. That's it. Yeah, with Peter Safran and what's his name, James Gunn. They just don't like they don't like Affleck and they don't like Snyder. That's true. That's why they did what they did. But it's okay. Everything's gonna catch up, and things are changing for the good. All right, James Gunn's embarrassment to himself and his followers and oh man, yeah. But yep, that's exactly what it is. That's what I'm telling y'all. It's going to happen. Superman the Gun is a flop. It's a flop for sure. Oh man, back home for 300 prequel. Yep, I'm waiting for that. It's gonna be nice once we see those updates. Yep, that's good. WB is bankrupt to do any more movies after Gun Superman. Yep, they're gonna flop with that one. But of course, things are gonna change with what we're about to get with the Snyderverse because it's coming. I don't know about y'all, but I see it. It's coming. If WB screws with us again, then we'll have to take on the Snyderverse fans and Comcast facts. Yep. Well, we are going to win. And the same way we got the Snyder Cut, we're also going to get the Snyderverse and, of course, the Air Cut because it's been overdue. Air Cut announcement incoming. Oh, it's gonna come. It's coming. I'm telling y'all, the true DCU must return. Yes, yes, it is. It will. Keep up the good work, bro. Appreciate you. Beers, bottoms up, all that good stuff. Yes, yes. I'm telling y'all, stay motivated, stay focused, do not give up. Faith, hope, and lots of endurance. The same way we endured everybody for 5 years with the Snyder Cut. I see this happening at a faster pace with what's going on. Because notice it. Check this out real quick. I got a few more minutes. It's interesting to see how Zach posted and was announced of him coming back for that 300 prequel. Okay, that's cool. But the interesting part is with David Ayer. David Ayer recently was like, I'm going to throw in the towel. That's just an expression like he's about to give up. And he's tired. And I can relate with that. We all can relate with somebody. We've all been there. We've all been to a point where we're like, I'm going to give up. I'm done. And what did he do? He cooled down. He let time pass. We all got together for that. Released the Air Cut back in August 15th. And what happened? He joined and he was posting and resharing and tweeting and everything. Jared Leto jumped on Instagram and did the same thing. The fans were asking for it. It was trending that whole weekend. What does that tell you? That people have not moved on. If it didn't trend, then that means people have moved on. But on the contrary, it was trending. People were talking about it. There was movement. Everywhere I was seeing, people were posting it. And that's beautiful to see because we, the fans, have come together and we're sending a statement and a big message to this company. WB, give us what we want. We're the consumers and we want more of the Snyderverse and more of the Airverse. And it's happening because now all of a sudden, when that announcement was made, right, that I told y'all, hey, look, David Ayer posted a picture that he's in or out of, in the lot with the water tower. That's not coincidence. And then, like a few days later, he's announcing on, you can go see it on his Twitter page. He posted the picture of him just with WB, meaning, yo, I'm back. You don't just post that just to post it. That means something is happening behind closed doors. Like I've been telling y'all, all of these things have been happening right before us. We're just not going to be able to be in those meetings because we don't have that type of plug. And that's why these leaks are coming out. That leak came out from Comcast that they want a DC alternative show for HBO Max. Of course, they need content. They need content on HBO Max. Notice how they're not talking about the Penguin show that much. If they were, they're trying to push it, but nobody's caring about it. It's not getting enough views. I'm telling you for sure. Because if it were, it would be all over in our face, and it's not. I barely get any ads for it, and it's like, all right, what's up? Even WB knows that nobody cares about that. It's not enough people for that to happen. Now I'm telling y'all, something big is coming. And of course, Zack Snyder set something up with that epilogue scene, and we're going to get more from that. We will be getting Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. We will be getting Ben Affleck's The Batman movie. We will be getting Man of Steel 2, and I know for sure we'll be getting Aquaman 3 the right way. And we'll be getting Cyborg the same way that we were promised. All these things are happening, and it's just a matter of time. Good things are on the horizon. just have to be patient and not give up. This is why I'm telling you, we cannot give up. Hey, what's going on, Geek Defense? Appreciate you watching. Yes, Black Jaguar Studios Gunverse. Gunverse. Fucking Snyderverse is coming. Accept the gun, suckers. Yes, restore the Snyderverse. Yes, yes, yes. That's what's coming. I'm telling y'all, it's just a matter of time. And this whole thing with what James Gunn is trying to build is not working. It's not working. The numbers don't lie. And at the box office in 2025, we're going to see that things are going to crumble right before our eyes. Look at that. Look. You see how bad Transformers 1 is doing at the box office right now? When we make it into next year, it's going to be worse with James Gunn's Superman. It's going to be bad as that or worse. You know why? One, people don't care about going to the theaters like they used to. Two, it's not something that everybody's like, I want to go see it now. No, it's not enough following like that, you know? And it's just not going to be something that people are very excited for. Peacemaker, the same thing too. Why are they bringing that after Superman? Now they're gonna have that connected. Nobody cares about that. That's not the Superman from that universe, and then they're trying to force it. This is why I'm telling y'all, if Comcast does, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, because that's what the rumor's saying. That's what that leak is saying. And then now you have Zach and you have David Ayer. It's not a coincidence, people. The facts are right before us. I know some of y'all might be like, oh, well, you're so delusional. You keep on living in la la land, blah, blah. Accept the fact. The fact is that Zach is back, David Ayer is back. Comcast is going to make a change. WB so screwed that they need to get out of this debt. David Zaslav needs to jump ship. He needs to sell the studio, or he needs to just like sell the IP in order to pay off all the debts. And we, the fans, will be basking in the glory with the Snyderverse and the Ayerverse, where the quality lives. And the Snyderverse is going to make a comeback on steroids, twice as strong than before. Now, put this together. Now, look, I'm going to speculate a little bit more. I'm going to open your imagination. Imagine, what are we in 2024, right? Let's say now, let's fast forward time 2025. James Gunn's DCU flopped like we predicted. And all of a sudden now, right, we have Zach and David Ayer and Comcast that they make the announcement that the Snyderverse is restored. Not only that, would it be coincidence that that happens while now we're entering the next phase of Avengers with Doctor Doom and this whole, what is it, Secret Wars? That will be perfect to go against Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and Zack Snyder's Justice League 3, along with David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Something that was already connected into the Snyderverse and expanded by then, or it's about to expand. You imagine that? Oh, you know people are gonna want to see that because then again you have that whole Marvel versus DC again. You get what I'm saying? I would rather see that instead of a DC versus Marvel by James Gunn. Nah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Superman go up against Thor. Nah, I want to see the Justice League go up against Darkseid. I want to see what happens. Who really wins? I don't want to see what's going to happen if Darkseid goes against Thanos. Nope. I want to see Darkseid with Superman going against the Justice League. I want to see everything that Zach was giving us. And I want to see what David Ayer was going to give us with and what came after the Ayer cut. Amazing times. Amazing times. Quality is on the horizon again. Things are shifting. Things are going to turn better. And you'll see it's just a matter of time. Don't give up. Stay faithful. Keep that endurance. Overcome everything that everybody's trying to post and say opposite. That just shows you that they're worried because they know that with James Gunn, it's not going to work. It hasn't worked and it will never work. That's the beauty of it all. It's crazy, but it's true. All right, don't lose focus. Wallets closed. Yes, wallets closed until the completion of the Snyderverse confirmed. Yes. Exactly. Keep those wallets closed. This is how we win. The studio wants to play with us. Let's play. Let's show them how we play. Dumb channels be saying that we'll never see the Snyderverse again. Yeah, sure. They're gonna choke on their words once the Snyder comes back. Yep, that's true. I'm telling y'all that Snyderverse is right around the corner. It's awesome. I can see it. I'm telling y'all, I see it. It's right on the horizon. The same way we're gonna get like the title Dawn of Justice, Dawn of the Snyderverse is right around the corner. Honestly, the only way Marvel versus DC works, I if DC is established and Gun versus not. Yeah, yeah. But I think this is all. I'm telling y'all, this is what I'm thinking. Speculating real quick. I think that with this whole thing with Comcast, it's not just a rumor. I think it's going to happen because too many things is just coincidence coming at once. You have Zach, you have the return of David Ayer, you have this whole rumor of Comcast wanting David Ayer and Zack Snyder, and then all of a sudden they come back. It's not coincidence, people. It's right before us. It's being repaired. They just can't say it now, of course, because they're waiting for the right time. And I think that right time is for when Marvel is about to start their whole new Avengers. Because remember, it's gonna be within the next 2 to 3 years or so, something like that. And I think from there, by then, remember James Gunn's contract is going to be already coming to an end because like I think his contract was like for 4 years or something like that. So by then, we already know that James Gunn and his Superman is going to flop, and by then, probably Comcast announces back, of course, the Snyderverse and with David Ayer and all that stuff, and it'll be perfect to start filming right after Superman because that failed and flopped, and now they're going to move into what David Zaslav wanted to do as a plan B with Zack Snyder and David Ayer, so they can move forward and bring back the Snyderverse to get restored. That's what I think is going to happen. So that way, by the time they're back, it'll be available on streaming, and of course, they'll be able to put, if a big if, we get by that time at least an announcement of Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 to go up against the Avengers, that Doom, whatever you want to call it, and it would be even awesome if it would lead into the epic conclusion because by that time you're gonna have Secret Wars, that's the biggest massive thing Marvel's gonna put out, and then it would be amazing to see Infinite Crisis, where Zack puts all these characters, everything that he has, along with David Ayer. Because let's not forget, Zack Snyder. There was a post too that he posted it. I should have grabbed it. I just completely forgot that he even said it that he was going to talk to David Ayer. And these things happening, it's not coincidence. It's all being repaired right before us. We just can't see it. But that is what I see that's going to come from all of this. And even if it doesn't happen in that big epic scale, where it's like, all right, they're gonna put in the theaters, that's fine. If they put it on HBO Max, oh, you imagine that? Oh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. You imagine HBO Max presents Zack Snyder's The Batman with Ben Affleck. HBO Max presents, brought to you by Comcast. Ooh, you see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going? See where I'm heading? Oh, that would be amazing. But yeah, hey, what's going on, Daniel? Yeah, we're wrapping things up, so I'm about to get going, and about to end this. We've been talking for like an hour and 8 minutes, but it's just been so nice, just chatting with you and all that good stuff. So again, stay positive, keep enduring, do not give up. I appreciate everybody that's been watching, all that good stuff. So keep posted, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video. All right, y'all stay safe, all that good stuff. And until next time, my friends, peace.